It's the Beckhams, life, love, and fame. Every moment's part of the game. Watch it unfold, fortune or flame. The Beckhams, remember the name.
Welcome back to the deep dive. And look, I'm going to be honest with you. Usually when we talk about celebrity gossip, I'm the first one to say, okay, this is trashy fun. Let's move on. But today feels different. We're looking at the Beckhams.
It really is fascinating. And I'm glad you said that because it is so easy to just dismiss this.
Right.
You see the headlines, supermodels, billionaires, soccer legends, and you think, who cares? But what we're actually dissecting here is a high-stakes corporate merger gone wrong. Except the corporation is a family.
Exactly. That is the perfect lens. We're not just talking about who unfollowed who on Instagram today. We're talking about the scoop of the year, really trying to untangle what is shaping up to be the juiciest family saga of 2026. But the mission here isn't just to gawk at the drama. We want to understand the mechanics of it, the accusations of sabotage, the clash between family loyalty and brand. It's a lot.
And the central question we have to at least try to answer is, well, it's actually quite dark. Are we witnessing a genuine family breakdown? A tragic erosion of relationships between parents and their son? Or, and this is the cynical question we have to ask, are we watching a PR masterclass?
Is this brand image versus blood ties, or is the conflict itself the new product?
Exactly.
That's the question that kept me up reading all this. Because on the surface, it's all, dress drama and dance floor disputes. It sounds like a rom-com subplot.
It does.
But when you peel it back, it's about power. It's about control. So let's unpack this. We have to start with the catalyst. Everything seems to point back to one major event that just kicked this hornet's nest wide open. Brooklyn Beckham's wedding to Nicola Peltz.
The wedding is absolutely the inciting incident.
It has to be.
And you have to remember the context here. Weddings are high stress for any family.
Of course.
Now, just imagine a wedding where the guest list is a who's who of global culture, and the entire family brand is on the line. The accusations from Brooklyn about this event are incredibly specific and honestly pretty damning if they're true.
They really are. And we have to start with the dress drama. Now, before anyone rolls their eyes, this isn't just about a piece of fabric. Brooklyn is claiming that his mother, Victoria Beckham, specifically withdrew from designing Nicola's wedding dress.
Which is huge. Let's just pause on that for a second.
Yeah.
Victoria isn't just a mother-in-law. She is a fashion mogul. Her whole identity is built on design.
Right. That's what I couldn't get past. If my mom is a baker, she's making the cake. If she's a florist, she's doing the flowers. If your mom is Victoria Beckham, surely she designs the dress.
Precisely. In the language of the fashion world, dressing the bride is the ultimate endorsement. It's a passing of the torch. It visually integrates the new daughter-in-law into the aesthetic of the clan. So for Brooklyn to allege that she withdrew, meaning there was a plan and she pulled the plug, that is a massive rejection.
But let me play devil's advocate for a second. Is it possible she was just busy? Or that her studio couldn't handle the request? Things go wrong.
It's possible, sure. But we're talking about a woman who runs a global empire. If she wanted that dress made, she would have moved heaven and earth. The allegation of withdrawing suggests a choice was made, and it forced Nicola to turn to another designer, Valentino. So visually on the wedding day, that creates a separation.
A line in the sand.
The bride is not wearing Team Beckham. She's wearing a competitor, essentially.
It sets up an us versus them dynamic right there at the altar. But, okay, if the dress was a subtle snub, the next accusation is just loud. We have to talk about the first dance. This detail honestly made me cringe so hard.
It is a very specific, very awkward allegation.
Brooklyn claims his parents, David and Victoria, took over his and Nicola's first dance.
Took over. It's such a loaded phrase.
Just paint the picture. You're at your wedding, you've got your song queued up, you're looking into your spouse's eyes, and then your dad just slides in.
Well, the implication is that the spotlight, the music, the moment that was supposed to be about the new couple was commandeered. Whether they literally cut in or if the whole production of the wedding was just shifted to highlight the parents, the result is the same.
It sounds so petty, doesn't it? Like something from a
reality TV show. Absolutely.
But why would they do that? David and Victoria are media trained within an inch of their lives. They know how not to be embarrassing. Why steal the thunder at your own son's wedding?
This is where we have to look at the psychology of it, of being the main character. David and Victoria have been the protagonists of the Beckham story for 30 years. There's the sun, everything else orbits. A wedding signals a shift. The next generation is supposed to take the lead.
And they weren't ready to pass the baton?
I think that's the analysis, yeah. Taking over the first dance,
Hmm.
if that's how it happened, is a subconscious or maybe even conscious assertion of dominance. It's saying, we are still the stars of this show. You are just the spinoff.
Oh, that is brutal. You are just a spinoff. That stings. It just feeds this idea that Brand Beckham supersedes everything. You can't just be a guest. You have to be the headline. But this is where the story shifts, because we go from petty wedding drama to something much, much heavier. We enter the territory of sabotage.
Yes. The language changes significantly here. We move away from awkward social moments and into accusations of active malice.
Brooklyn isn't just complaining about a bad party anymore. He's publicly accusing his parents of interfering in his marriage. He actually uses the word sabotaging. That is a legal word. That's a war word.
It implies intent. That's the key.
Right.
If your parents are just annoying, that's one thing. But sabotage implies that David and Victoria are actively working to undermine the success of the marriage.
And the core charge here is that they prioritize their brand image over family relationships. That's the heart of it all. But I have to ask, is Brooklyn just being a rebellious kid? I mean, maybe his parents are just trying to give him advice and he's taking it as interference.
That is the eternal struggle, isn't it? The line between parental guidance and control. But you have to look at what brand image means to the Beckhams. For most of us, if our kid does something messy, maybe the neighbors gossip. For the Beckhams, reputation is a multi-million-dollar asset. It's their currency.
So if Brooklyn or Nicola do something that doesn't fit the perfect family aesthetic, the parents step in to fix it.
Exactly. The analysis suggests that to David and Victoria, protecting the brand is protecting the family. They're one and the same in their minds. But to Brooklyn, it feels like they care more about the stock price than his actual feelings.
That is a fundamental disconnect. One side sees protection, the other sees sabotage. It's a deadlock. And it's not just angry text messages anymore. We're talking about physical estrangement, the fallout.
The silence speaks louder than anything else at this point.
We've seen the reports that Brooklyn and Nicola have been totally absent from recent family events. But there is one specific absence that feels like a nail in the coffin. They missed David Beckham's 50th birthday.
That is a massive statement. In the world of celebrity, attendance is currency.
Right. I mean, a 50th birthday for anyone is a big deal. But for David Beckham, that's basically a national holiday in the UK. There are cameras everywhere. The guest list is royalty. For his eldest son to just not be there.
It's a public declaration of war. In PR terms, you usually fake it.
You do the photo.
You show up, you smile for the one photo, you kill the rumors, and then you go home and you don't speak. That's the standard playbook.
The smile and wave strategy.
Exactly. By refusing to even do that, by allowing that empty chair to be seen by the world of, Brooklyn and Nicola are sending a message that the brand cannot control them anymore. They are willing to damage that perfect family image to make their point.
That is bold. It's
Yeah.
burning the bridge while everyone is watching. And this is where it gets really interesting to me. We have Davy's response. You'd expect, I don't know, anger, a denial, maybe a "we love our son" statement. Instead, he gives this quote that's been called a suave rebuttal. He just says that children need space to make mistakes.
It's a masterclass in rhetoric. I honestly admire the construction of that sentence, even if it is incredibly condescending.
It feels patronizing, right? Or am I reading too much into that?
No, you're reading it exactly right. Let's break it down. On the surface, it makes David look like the wise, benevolent patriarch. Oh, I'm so mature, I'm giving them space. He's the bigger man. He looks unbothered.
But calling it a mistake.
That's the dagger. By framing Brooklyn's absence, his marriage, his choices as mistakes, he completely invalidates Brooklyn's grievances. He's not saying, my son is hurt because of something I did. He's saying, my son is acting out like a toddler, and he'll come back when he grows up.
Wow. So it completely sidesteps the accusation of sabotage. Brooklyn says, you hurt me, and David just says, you're going through a phase.
It's gaslighting with a smile. It reasserts his control over the narrative. Brooklyn is screaming, trying to be heard, and David is just whispering, let him tire himself out.
It's the difference between a scream and a shrug. And in the court of public opinion, the shrug usually wins because it looks cooler.
Which brings us right to the biggest question. The court of public opinion. We're all watching this play out in real time. And the central question is, are the Beckhams protecting their brand, or are they losing their grip on their family?
It really feels like they are trying so hard to do the first one that they are guaranteeing the second.
But I want to push back on that a little bit, or at least offer the alternative theory we mentioned at the start. The PR masterclass theory.
Oh, I love a good conspiracy. Go on.
Well, just look at the engagement metrics. The Beckhams have been famous for decades. Perfect family content is nice, but it gets boring.
Sure.
You know what doesn't get boring? A feud. A schism.
So you're suggesting this could be manufactured or at least exploited.
Think about the Kardashians.
Yeah.
They monetize dysfunction better than anyone in history. Is it possible that the brand Beckham team realizes that a little bit of public conflict actually keeps them relevant in a new era?
It keeps their names in the headlines.
It gives Brooklyn and Nicola an identity, the rebels. And it gives David and Victoria an identity, the long-suffering wise parents. Everybody gets a role to play.
That is so dark, but also kind of brilliant. If they're turning their private pain into public consumption, they're essentially monetizing their own arguments.
It's the economy of attention. But we have to be impartial here. We can't just assume it's all fake. Because if you look at the details, the wedding dress, the specific language of sabotage, that feels like real pain.
I agree. You can't fake the visceral awkwardness of that first dance story. That feels too specific to be a PR strategy. And on the other side, David and Victoria probably genuinely feel that they have built this entire empire for their children. Seeing their eldest son seemingly attack, it must feel like a betrayal of the highest order.
It's a classic generational conflict, just amplified by billions of dollars. The parents want to maintain the structure they built. The child wants to break free from that structure to build his own identity. The tragedy here is that the brand might be the very thing that makes a normal resolution impossible.
Because you can't just apologize and hug it out in the kitchen.
No. You have to issue a press release. You have to coordinate with publicists. Every apology is a headline. Every reconciliation is a photo op. Authenticity becomes almost impossible when the audience is watching.
That is terrifying. It's like living in a glass house, but the glass is also a magnifying glass.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean for us? We've looked at the dress, the dance, the accusations of sabotage, the missed birthday. It's a lot to take in.
It is. We have a son who is claiming his parents are actively interfering,
Yeah.
and parents who are publicly claiming they're just giving him space. It's a total deadlock. Neither side is blinking.
And as we wrap this up, I want to bring this back to the listener because, sure, most of us don't have to worry about whether our mom is designing our wedding dress for the cover of Vogue.
Or issuing press releases about our birthday party.
Exactly. But the core conflict here is actually pretty universal. It's that tension between public expectation and private reality. We all have a brand, in a way, the version of our family we show to the world, or on social media.
That's a great point. We all curate. We post the smiling Christmas card photo, not the argument that happened 5 minutes before it was taken. The Beckhams are just doing that on a global scale. The struggle to keep the image polished when things behind the scenes are messy is something everyone understands.
It's the pressure of performance. And for them, the performance never, ever ends.
And that leads me to my final thought for you to chew on. We talked about this idea of a PR masterclass. Usually, we assume a feud destroys a family brand. We think, oh no, the dynasty is crumbling.
Right, it looks like a total disaster.
But what if it isn't? What if this feud isn't the end of the Beckhams, but simply the start of a profitable new season of their reality show? Does a modern brand actually need conflict to survive? Because perfection is boring. Maybe, just maybe, the feud is the fuel.
Ooh, that is a chilling thought. Are we watching a tragedy or are we just watching season 2? And if we're clicking on it, are we the reason it's even happening?
We are certainly part of the ecosystem.
Well, on that existential note, we will leave you to ponder. Thanks for diving deep with us today into the dress, the drama, and the dynasty. We'll catch you on the next one.
Behind the flash and the golden frame, every heart still feels the flame. From the cheers to the quiet rooms, every story ends too